All right. Thank you, Andrew, for agreeing to take this workshop for us today. This workshop is hosted in collaboration with the Debating WhatsApp, the Debate Central, Horatio Podium, and Global Speech and Debate Council. We are very glad to have Andrew on board with us talking about models of speech and explaining to us different aspects about how these can work in parliamentary debating formats. Andrew, without any further delay, then I'll hand over to you.
All right. My name is Kazaire Andrew. I'm a debater, an adjudicator. Yeah, I do different as like different things in terms of should I call it speaking. Uh, I've participated, judged different kind of tournaments. So I think I've tried. We are not here like. Should I call it? I'm not here as a perfect person or as a superstar, but then I'm here so that we learn different things that maybe I had and you didn't have at all. So maybe you might be having, but then you don't know how to evaluate it. So basically, we are going to be talking about the mode of speech. Am I still audible?
Yeah, you're perfectly fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. When you're talking about a debate, of course, we think about arguments and then we think about the mode of speech. All debate runs on how you have phrased or you have teamed up to make like a mode of what I call the mode of speech is the way like you are putting the motion on how it is. One, motion identification is also a matter in this kind of debates we have been having or we have been conducting. Then after realizing what it requires, what it wants, what it basically what the problems like this. All right. So I was like, the way we are phrasing, like sort of engagement, how we engage the debate is one. We're looking at a mode of speech. So mode of speech involves tackling the debate in terms of problematic analysis, solution analysis, and what do you think, what the debate requires, sort of requirement in the debate. So the key points in the motions are the one that brings us to what the debate requires. If it is sort of a policy motion where we think that the team proposition at first, it has to come up with something like either like sort of a policy or a plan or something like that, something like a plan or a policy. So we think we are talking about the introduction of the mode of speech. What we have to know in all that in anything that sort of in like in a debate, what makes us like win or lose, it is our mode of speech. How uh, what makes us lose or win a debate is the way we have set the mode of speech, starting from the first speaker. So basically, for example, assuming that we have like a policy motion that is stating, for example, like this house like would ban like this house would ban the use of polythene bag in order to protect the sort of environment, like to protect the environmental dignity or the environment, like sort of environment or sort of like such a motion. So what we have to know, it is one that as a team, you have to realize that you know what are we tackling the sort of problematic analysis. What is the problem at hand? So the problem at hand, it's sort of like realizing what you are going to talk about and what the judges are aiming at all. We shouldn't forget this the stuff of the theme. So if I told that we are looking about the sort of climate change and whatever, so it means at the end of the day, you are going to discuss all the discussion will be considering or pulling out the sort of theme. So one, as the first speaker or as the first speaker at all, what you have to know is one, open the debate, make a debate, not do not squirrel the debate. Why? when you screw the debate, then it means you have a highest percentage of losing that debate because you were independent in your motion and you were debating alone. So it will give a quick access for the team opposition to really understand that you have screwed the debate and you want to debate the motion alone. So again, at the end of the day, when we say that we are going to use like sort of banning polythene bags, so one, you have to like sort of plan. So if you're giving a plan, why should you give a plan? What is the purpose of the plan? So who are the stakeholders of this plan? So who is the most beneficent people in this kind of a plan? So at the end of the day, what is the repercussion of this plan? So what sort of that plan at the end of the day, is it a law? Is it a policy? Is it a sort of changing or alternating from something to something? So those are all your plans that you are bringing out as a policy motion. It is. So whenever you come and you tell us that you have realized that it is a policy motion, but then you have really hidden your plan or your plan. When the team opposition do not tackle, there you win the debate. When they come and tackle and ask you what kind of plan you're having, or what kind of strategies you are bringing, is though you are banning the policy back because you have different companies. So in realizing the mode of speech involves in understanding the real motion you are going to debate and how these people are going to enter you. Because one, you are going to ban the polythene bag. Because this polythene bag, one, yes, you have seen its repercussion or its problem why you are banning this kind of polythene bag. Because one, they are causing climate change. Two, they are not like they are polluting the environment. Then three, they are bringing like sort of soil pollution or whatsoever. So it takes decades and whatsoever of year to do what to do what like to decompose. But then yes, we have seen your problem, but then this polythene bag, most countries, let me think about African countries and maybe those people who are in India and whatsoever. I think you guys, you're using polythene bag. Koshik, I think, is it like that? Is it Koshik? Is it like that?
What happened?
I'm like, in your countries, do you really use also polythene bag?
Yeah, we do use polythene bags. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So in the end of the day, we are tackling the problem that at hand. But then the kind of a problem you're trying to tackle is a world. It's needed. It's needed. This is where we are talking about something important, but then something it has a lot of disadvantage, though it is important at the state. So you as the team affirmative, or you as the team opening government or sort of government, what are you bringing at hand? We are saying we are going to ban the use of polythene bag. How, where, when? And that is the mode of speech. That is the way you're building the speech. That is the way you have to build the speech. So you are answering the question of why, when, or like how, why, like also when and what is next after banning the polythene bag, what to use, the alternating issue, because the team opening opposition will come ask you this. Yeah, we agree that you're going to ban the polythene bags that are becoming a problem at the end of the day, but then we have kind of benefits or beneficiaries in this kind of people, the companies that are producing polythene bags. We have beneficiaries in the people who are selling these polythene bags. We have dependents, total dependents. So you are banning something that you have failed to realize that there is a total dependence, and these dependents, you have left them hanging. And if you have left them hanging, then it means your case is not really built at the end of the day, or it has ripple. Then it means your modern speech is going to be is going to suffer totally, because you run out of arguments. These people will come bringing more tackling arguments, and they will literally, and you will literally win, because at the end of the day, these people will have more arguments than yours, because one, you have seen, you have realized a problem at hand, that is like climate change caused by polythene bag. One, that is also sort of that's your argument. So what are you dealing with? We are dealing with polythene bag. Then at the end of the day, dealing with climate change does not stop economic growth. Economic growth is through polythene bags. These people are companies that are producing, like, let me talk about industries that are producing polythene bags. If you ban the use of polythene bags, then it means they don't have any sort of alternative to go for. Then it means there is unemployment in the state. Then there is no revenue in the state. Then it means there is no sort of and there is no sort of development at any cost. So it means that climate change will also increase because these people will go ahead not even using the polythene bag. It means these people will continue uh, carrying out charcoal burning, carrying out different activities that are causing more climate change. It means you are not solving the problem, but at the end of the day, you are causing more chaos at the end of the day. So that when you're trying to build your case, to build your to build your win, it means that you have to console, or you have to look at something that is more valuable, that is something is for example, you have made a strategy, say like, yes, we are banning polythene bag, but then at the end of the day, we are not totally eliminating. We are banning the use of polythene bag in market areas. It's that. That is partial banning. So partially you have banned. For how long? How? For how long? Like, and what mechanism are you going to use to monitor that there is no more use of polythene bag? Because different countries have done it and they have totally failed to maintain or to monitor. So who are you to so you find that your speech is like the way you have to flow your speech, you make sure that the opponents do not rely or do not get any obstacle from your speech. You make a speech that is totally that is good for your side but complicated for the team opposition to tackle. You know, I did not say you make it complicated, but then you make it a very perfect but then complicated to the opponent side in terms of tackling or uh, responding. Am I still audible, please?
Yep, perfectly.
Yes.
I'm saying you're perfectly audible. You can go on.
Okay. So, and then that is sort of policy debate. That is sort of how you should deal with a policy motion. You have to sort of create uh, the better speech that do not have sort of uh, loopholes that opponents can really understand and say, you know what, we are going to engage them here. Then in people opposition side, literally it is just coming to modern debate where people from team opposition are seriously looking on how to encounter writing arguments and writing rebuttals and whatsoever. But then in my time of participation in open debates, when I was on opposition side, I used not to write at any cost something in my head, because I could see it where the team opposition proposition is putting me is where I will come, crush them, and then show them the right route, then leave. But then it means that for you, if you come, that for you, if you come, and at the end of the day, you don't bring out what you have, you don't bring out that rebuttal, and you fail to note something, then it means you're totally out of the debate. Uh, then what I have to talk about, mm, let me talk about engagement. Am I still audible?
Yes, you're still audible. There is a
All right.
question on the chat.
Yes.
So the question mentions that does that mean the first speaker becomes the most important speaker in the case of a policy debate, since she has to give a foolproof policy or plan?
Does that mean that the first speaker becomes the most important speaker in the case of the policy debate, since he or she has to give a full proof of policy plan. According to the let me use a debate let me use a BP format. In a BP format, it is crucial for the first speaker. First speaker, because you have two speakers, right? So first speaker, it is very crucial. If at the end of the day you fail to to tell us what you're trying to eliminate and your plans and what you're trying to bring out as an alternative, it means that even if the second speaker comes to speak, it means that you failing to bring out because in a world school format, it is either the first speaker or the second speaker. If the two speakers fail, then the third speaker, then it means that you're not allowed to bring out new argument, because we consider that as a new argument when you come up with the work plan. But then it is totally crucial for the first speaker. You're like you're the key player in this kind of motions and policy motions, because at the end of the day, what they hear from you, you are the one creating the motion. If you create the motion that is too linking, then it means even if the second speaker comes to, because the second speaker has a burden to come and rebut, organize everything, rebut, explain further, because for you, you came, you gave out, because you had no pressure, you came, you gave out, you explained with that very little or few minutes you had, because it depends on the kind of on the rules of the motion, on the rules of the tournament. They can say, we are going to use four minutes of speech, or we are using 5 minutes of speech, or 3 minutes of speech, or 6 minutes of speech. So you find that you have a lot to talk about, but then you have forgotten, at the end of the day, forgotten bring in. So this opponent will come, the second speaker will come, yes, talk about it, but then it will not be valuable as an answer, because it will not work as an answer, because the like the opening opposition, like the deputy prime minister, will come just clarify on what you are trying. Deputy leader of opposition will just come telling you that chair, what the team proposition are talking about, they don't really understand, because these are the team that are having a linking arguments where they don't have a work plan, where they don't have this kind of it is just sort of reported. They report you on how you have engaged the debate, and on how. So debate engagement in BP, it means that you have you have to really be keen as the first speaker. As a first speaker, I'm saying it one more time. As a first speaker, because it's a lot of definition. It is under definition of the commotions. It's under definition of motion, because why do you define motion? You define motion in different ways, giving a house policy, like stating a perimeter, giving a perimeter. If at all you are going to use any sort of perimeter, is it physical or psychological perimeters, then it means that you're going to use perimeters. If you are going to use the status quo will be carrying out. That is sort of definition of the motion. That is the first speaker, the opening government. You have to do it. Like most especially the first speaker from that is the prime minister. You're advancing the argument like in your side's favor, all right?
Andrew, there's one more question on the chat. Andrew, are you here?
I'm here.
Right. So the next question reads, when we are following up from the first speaker, how do we uh, there's some typo obviously, that how do we, I'm assuming they're saying that how do we model or rebuild or
When we are
modernize
following up
debating from the
from the first speaker, how do we, okay, was it, how do we rebuilding? So he was trying to say, how do we rebuild? Being heavily beaten from opposition, how should we rebuild? This thing of trying to rebuild, it is sometimes a logic. that whenever you're beaten by the first speaker, hmm, and you find like you want to make things better that had become worse, and you have come, you want to rebuild everything, or what the first speaker made. Maybe if the first speaker made a little mess and people did not understand, then you can rebuild. But then when you say, when you illegally, and you believe that you know what the first speaker was saying, it was all trash, so I'm trying to organize, it means that sort of you have lacked very like two things. You have accepted the defeat, then two, uh, you have continued with, you have carried out a sort of inconsistency in the motion. So it means for you, the two teams, the two people, or the two speakers, you have been inconsistent. Maybe, if at all, a first speaker has made a brand and it is a world school format. The first speaker making a brand, then it means the second speaker, the third speaker can really organize the motion, because the second speaker, you have the same burden like the first speaker in the world school format. You have the same burden. You have like literally the same burden. If at all the first speaker fails to respond, what? But then you find if the first speaker brings out poor arguments, then it means the second speaker will be having a lot of burden, because you are the first speaker, or you are the second speaker, as well as a first speaker. So you have to play your role. At the end of the day, you also have to play the first speaker's role. One, the first speaker failed to explain the key terms, failed to give the perimeters, sort of a perimeter, and they have given their own perimeters. You failed to give us the status quo. I have failed to explain the key terms. You have really failed and sort of engaging the debate. You have failed to give like the qualitative and the sort of analysis, the problematic analysis, solution analysis, those sort of analysis that we need in emotion. You find that totally failed, and then it means that you'll be having two burdens at a go, where you have to give a status quo, you have to lay the sort of policy motion, you have to give out a policy that you are rowing, and then you find this teach different motion, like different policies. In setting the policies, you might set a legal policy, where you're coming to tell us that, here we're going to set a law. So it is always better that you set a policy that is a burden to the team opposition to come and rebut. One, uh, a policy actually people who sets the policy. These are the people that normally wins the debate. One, because one, policies are always long. Two, you always have the argument option. Then three, you have a rebuttal option. If you set the policy is much different from your case. You have set a policy. A policy, it is a work plan. A work plan, it has periods. And periods, they cannot, or the opposition cannot rebut on all periods. Then it means sometimes your policy will still stand, though the points have been crushed away. So you find that you have a policy, and policy still stands, then it means you own the debate over your policy. Then it means you, because in all rebuttals they have made, you have made at least some sort of defense. Uh, but if you make a policy that is linking, and very many questions are from your policy that you have set, you find that you will not explain much on your points. But if they have tackled totally your policy, it means that you are going to lose. Why? If I come and I tell you that, Chair, for us, we are going to rather make this poison bag ban a law, whereby we are going to talk to the government, or we are going to set the law from the government. Then from in our first year, we are going to set the to put a request for in a parliament. Then the second year it will be discussed. Then in the third year it will be passed out. Then in the fourth year it will be working out. When you have said like that, it is a long period, like a long run work plan. So a long run work plan, it is always hard for the opposition to encounter. Why? They see, because we have said in our first year we are going to engage the stakeholders. In the second year we are going to engage the parliament. In our third year we are going to, then in our fourth year the policy will be working, monitoring, and so, and in our fifth year it means that there will be no policy back in our country because the law is seriously working. Then they will tell us that, Chair, for these people are setting their own law, what we think that it might work, but we thought it could work if at all we didn't see our backgrounds. In our background, we see that these policies have been totally set, have been totally cited, and at the end of the day, they have failed to work. So how will you ensure that these policies will be working? Because if you're making a policy and back use a law, or that is something law, how are you going to monitor? If the government has totally failed to monitor, then who are you to monitor this kind of law? So you find that you have a lot of questions in your motion. When you tell them that, Sure, for us, we are not like, we have been coming up with sort of a policy. We have seen that yes, these policies have been set, but they have not been followed. One, the problem is this and this, and we have encountered through it and like this and this. You find, they tell us that, there have been corruption that has been hindering this policy. Then it means that corruption is totally caused by poor payment. So we are going to increase on the salary of these police officers and whatsoever, in order to ensure that these people should engage the law, or should make the laws very strict. So we are going to these people, and the policy has failed to work because these people had no option. So we have come up with a paper bag companies and whatsoever, that these people who have been employed in these companies, they will just change their working place. Then we are going to admit them into a paper bag companies. Then it means that these people will be employed. But the government have been setting a law, failing to realize that these stakeholders have a reason, or have something to do, or it's a source of their life. So that is how you are going to engage. So that's, in engaging like that, then it means the team opposition will come like no question to tell you, because they'll be like, even what they had, like even the question they had. So that's how you're engaging the motion. You have engaged, showed them why these people think that it won't work, why it has not been working, and why you think your policy will work better than their policy that have totally been failing to work. I think we are clear. Any other question now? We continue. Three questions. In a BP format, if Ogi have created a perfect debate plan and didn't leave any loophole for SIGI to build on, then what type of case should the SIGI build when the area on which they can build is very narrow? Then what about the opposition team bringing in a counter policy? I'm just starting out with the debating, and I face a lot of hardship building meaningful impact into our team's model. What would you recommend we do to improve this? Uh, Let me first with the last question that I had in BP. In BP format, if Ogi have created a perfect debate plan and didn't leave any loophole for Sigi to build on, then what type of let me tell you, don't ever think that Sigi is a debate. Actually, and that's why the judges tell you that thank you for whenever you find the deputy leader of opposition finishing his speech, and the judge always say that let us switch for the second part of the motion. It means that you guys are Sigi crossing government. You have the same burden, but you have the different responsibilities. Why? Yes, your burden is to bring in a new argument that is not even like having the same, like you must be having the same connection with the closing government, opening government, but then it should be related, but then very okay, something new. You might have the same, but then new. You have to bring in new. It's like that's why you find that the judges tell you that you become the second or you become the third. Why? Because you didn't bring in any new thing that we thought, because the same things that they are brought has been the same thing that we have been seeing throughout, even starting with the the opening government. So it means that you have to bring a good
Yes, Andrew, what were you saying? I couldn't catch.
data, please. Let me try to answer.
There are a few questions on the chat. So that's where we lost you when you were responding to one of them.
Yeah, I got a problem with the data problem. So let me try to check out. Am I still audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, let me even even the questions. Okay, can you help me read the questions because arrow.
I'll read the questions for you. One second.
Mm.
So the first one is, I'm just starting out with debating and I face a lot of hardship building meaningful impacts into our team's model. What would you recommend we do to improve this?
Mm. Okay, another question. Another question. Now I'm going to tackle that.
Right. The next question is, what about the opposition team bringing in a counter policy?
What is the what?
What about the opposition team bringing in a counter policy? How do you deal with that?
Yeah. You bring out team opposition's counter policy uh, should be corresponding or should be working. Counter policy motion should be working the same, like like should be one tackling the same cause, because these people must think that, for us we think that for us we think that it is not poison bug that are causing climate change, but then we think that it's other things, or how we should minimize. So you bring out the more, like, you shouldn't be away from the motions task, because I said, when you are making a motion or when you're debating a motion, what you have to realize that you are going to have something to tackle on, something to encounter, or something, the problematic analysis, the problem at hand. So what you're trying to solve, you must bring a counter argument, which is not bad, You might come when you have come for total rebuttal, or you have come for a counter motion or a counter argument. So with your counter argument, it works and depends on what burden the team proposition brought in. So if you see that you have you have a burden to rebut with the team opposition, it means you have to come for total rebuttal. Then total rebuttal, you own your points, but then you might bring in counter argument, but then you fail to defend. mm, or you fail to debate it better, or you fail to debate it clear, then the team the then if you have failed to debate yours for best, then you have failed to rebut your opposition's best, then it means, one, you should be having the counter argument that is solving two problems at hand. One, the problem of, like, for example, I've been talking about climate change. Am I still audible?
Yes, you are.
You had a problem of climate change. So what your problem is, what your counter argument should be, it should be corresponding with the question at hand, or with the solution, with the what you are trying to look for as a solution, but you're looking for a simpler solution than burning, because burning looked bad, or looked huge, or looked as a burden. So for you, you are coming with this sort of alternative. So in rather than burning, it is better you minimize the use of polythene bags, or it is better you do like this and this, or you provide trees, or you provide this and this to the citizen in order to carry, or you must provide the home clean or the cleaning companies that will be cleaning out these poison bags that are being used. And at the end of the day, you find that people have used their poison bags, and these people, and still climate change is eliminated, and also pollution is eliminated, and still the companies are still getting their own money. They still, so you can't bringing out something that it is not hurt the people, because at the end of the day, what you are trying to solve is one. These people are bringing out their policy that will solve a problem, but then causing more chaos. So what you bring in, it is to defend the two things. You are defending the climate change, then you are also defending the people that are going to be harmed at the end of the day, because you tell us that, Chair, instead of these people losing their job, instead of these people losing their failing to carry out their things, these people doing this and this, it means that with the government, you should, with team opposition, we suggest to bring in cleaning companies that will be carrying picking poison bag, carrying this one. These companies will employ people. Then it means there will be no poverty, because the people will be employed. Then you try to analyze the motion like that. The motion analysis will be like, yes, the people will feel like, yes, wow, it's something uh, valuable, because you have not lost the job, you have not lost this, you have not lost this and this, but then at the end of the day, also the problem is at hand. So the team proposition will come and tell you that, yes, you have brought cleaning companies, but then where will these companies be taking these policies? Then it means that if for you will come and tell us that, Chair, for these people, they have totally failed to come and understand that we are in a modern world where we have been recycling companies. These companies will be recycling these materials and will use them over and over, and these people will be collecting them. Then it means that these people who are collecting them, they will be getting money. For example, in Uganda, people are there collecting like plastic bottles, and these plastic bottles, like a sack, it is 20,000. 20,000 is something that is huge money. Then it means that these people are collecting. When they are employed, then too, these companies will employ new, the circling companies will employ new employees. Then it means people will be having job. There will be no poverty. Then it means climate change will also be maintained. Then there will be no pollution at the end of the day. So you're trying to summarize it very well like that. I think we are together. Any other question? A question of that our team is very weak, and what we have to do in order to make the team very strong. It is all practicing. Practicing is the best thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Whenever you sleep and you call yourself a debate, and you spend very many days without going for spars, they call for spars, you don't go. They call for, then it means that you will not learn more, because exposure, it will bring you more understanding, and you will know how to realize, like you will know how to encounter, you will know how your team will be, you will build your team. Then every team is always having the master planner. If you don't have a master planner and you are all down, it means there's no team. So what I'm trying to urge you, it is serious training, and also engaging more motions, making good research, and seeing, like me, I was a debater, and I ended up becoming a debater through motivation, and these people who motivated me, they were better than me. So I became a debater like that, inboxing people that I didn't even knew, and telling people about, I want to become a strong public speaker, I want to become a strong poet. How should I do? What should I do? I saw those big people, I talked to them. So you are online, you have WhatsApp group, so you have this. It is not that your team will be your team only. You co-team with other people, then see how they are building their case. Team up with different kind of categories of people. Very many tournaments are coming out. Please go engage in those tournaments. Hmm? Some if you say like, I'm not having enough money to engage, but then it means you cannot lose like something like for data. Then there are free tournaments that you must engage. Then it means whenever they are rebutting, whenever the feedbacks you get, all training deserves with feedback. Feedbacks are the best thing in this kind of in all tournaments that we engage. Any other question? I think I will leave.
I think more or less you covered everything that's already there on the chat. If there are any other questions, please feel free to drop them, everybody.